Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name's Chad. I appreciate you checking out my channel today. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and give it a follow, hit the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. You know the deal by now. Anyway, so I kind of want to take on a topic and that I know is controversial, and I know I'm going to get hate in the comments. There's going to be photographers that are mad at me for saying this, because the reality is that what I'm about to say means that for some photographers, they have to accept that their photography just really isn't that good. At least it's not good enough at the price point that they're trying to sell it for. And so before we get into that, I do want to point out that, so prior to getting into photography, I was in finance. I used to be a finance bro. I have a master's degree in business finance. So I know a lot about economics. I know a lot about the marketplace. I know how it works. I know about the laws of economics, all that fun stuff. Which gives me a little bit different perspective than maybe what a lot of photographers in the industry might have. So I kind of want to approach this from that standpoint, not from the standpoint of a photographer. So, you know, this topic that I want to talk about, it's not specific to photography. It happens in our marketplace, our global economic marketplace, every single day. And so the topic that I want to talk about is people coming into the industry and driving down the prices. And so the thing that I've seen a lot of photographers talk about, and I mean, it's literally all over the internet, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere that photographers post, you can find this topic in, highly debated. So anyway, so with that said, you know, the problem that I see a lot of times is photographers who have been doing this for a while are mad because somebody came in and set their price at, you know, half or 75% what they're charging, and yet they're competing for the same client. So my question to that photographer would be, if you've been doing this so long that now your price is at this level up here, why are you still competing for the same client that this new person is competing for? So, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's who you want to compete for, that's fine. You just have to understand the marketplace at that price level. You know, for example, an analogy that I use so often, if you've ever seen me comment in Threads or Instagram on this topic, you know, it's my go-to thing, and that is that Ferrari never gets upset when Hyundai sells a car, because they're competing for two different clients. Ferrari established themselves as a premium car maker. You know, they use the finest leathers, they use the finest materials, they're constantly innovating in technology to figure out how to maximize horsepower out of their engines and deliver a driving experience to their clients that very few other car makers can deliver. And certainly Hyundai can't compete with Ferrari. But Ferrari still sells more cars than, or Hyundai still sells more cars than Ferrari does. And that's because that's the business model that Hyundai's in. Hyundai is competing for people who are looking for a decent, you know, well-built, you know, nobody wants to buy a lemon, but that customer is not looking, they're not expecting a premium product. You know, you might get a customer that's looking for the premium edition of that car, but they certainly, hopefully, are not expecting the same quality or same level that Ferrari delivers. And so, if you're a photographer and you're competing at this lower price point level, you have to evaluate your business and say, all right, how is this new photographer able to steal my clients? How is their quality, the quality of their work, able to be as good as mine, or at least good enough that the client considers us in the same ballpark, and yet this person is able to sell their services significantly lower than me and still be profitable? It's highly unlikely that this new photographer has come into this industry hoping to lose money. Like, I don't know, I certainly didn't start my photography business going, you know what, I love photography so much, I just want to lose money. Like, we all want to be profitable. You know, I'm hoping that this job will help me retire one day. And I can't do that if I'm not profitable. So how is this person able to compete with this veteran photographer and still be profitable if their prices are so low? And that's where this veteran photographer, or the more expensive photographer, has to look at their operation and say, all right, somehow my expenses are so high that I have to charge this price that's higher in order to remain profitable. So how can I lower my expenses in order to compete with this other person? And that's, you have to look at your operation or look at your, the area of your marketplace. Does your client require you to have a premium website with your portfolio on it? Are they even looking at it? Or is your Instagram good enough? Is your competition able to book clients just off of their Instagram? If so, then you have to evaluate, should you be spending money on your website? Is the other thing that's very possible is that this new photographer, they bought a used camera. Maybe they might not even be using mirrorless. Maybe they're still using DSLR. They bought used camera, used lenses. They didn't buy a website. They're just using Instagram. But maybe they're spending all of their money or a significant part of their money on marketing. Maybe they're marketing better than you. So stop blaming this new photographer for coming in and driving down prices. That's literally how the marketplace is supposed to work. Our marketplace, our economic system is designed to deliver the best results possible for the consumer, not the seller. We have a very consumer-driven marketplace. It's designed with the intention that the consumer is always going to get the best possible price based off of the competition that's available for that good or that service. So basically, if people look at a specific area of photography and they say, hey, I see how much money people are making. We'll just use wedding photography. I'm not a wedding photographer, but we're going to use it because it's a very popular one, and it's one that a lot of new people get into. So somebody, I see, man, they're able to get $3,000 a wedding. All I have to do is book one wedding a month, and I'm already making as good or better money than I do at my 9 to 5. Man, I'm going to do that. So they go out and they get a camera that's good enough to do weddings, and they start marketing it to their friends. Maybe they're still in college, and so they find other young people at their school that are getting married on a budget, and they're willing to pay them half the price that other photographers charge, and so they start booking clients. And as that happens, more and more people are going to enter the market going, what? I can still be profitable. I can still be profitable. I can still be profitable. And eventually, it's going to hit a point where nobody can be profitable at that level again. And at that point, people are going to pull out of that market space because it's no longer worth being in, because there's just not enough profit there to justify the work. So people pull out and the prices start to go back up again. And if the prices go up too high, it's going to attract people and it'll repeat itself. And that's literally how our marketplace works all the time. Now I've seen suggestions from photographers that, other new photographers should, look at the prices of other photographers in their area, and, try to, set their prices for similar, price points, and not try to shake, not try to rock the boat or anything like that. Don't try to shake anything up. Like, you need to, come in and don't mess up our pricing system. Problem with that is that's actually against federal law. It's considered price fixing. If you try to influence the prices in a market space and try to talk with your competition and get an agreement on setting a price or setting a price range, you can get in big trouble for that. You can get some pretty serious fines from the federal government. So definitely be careful in your approach to trying to keep prices from going too low, because you could find yourself in some hot water. My advice would be to stop blaming the new photographer or the amateur photographer, the hobbyist photographer, whatever you want to call them. Stop blaming them and look at your own photography Why is your photography not up to a level where you're getting premium clients yet, and the clients you're still competing for are perfectly fine with a hobbyist who might be kind of new and might not have great photography yet? So that should tell you something about your own photography if that's your competition. So I hate to be the one to break that news to you, but it's not the new photographer's fault that you're not profitable. It's your own.